10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Shuts everyone of them down. That's a full team kill.
Another! He's looking for third. He's gonna get it.
Not the kill, and Vastek's gonna find another. He finds that shot. He finds two.
He's still alive. Can he go in?
Oh
my goodness.
He's gonna go bar down and give Saints the lead again.
Saints Gaming, and welcome back after the holidays here. My name is Jackson the Pride Brown, joined alongside John Billbegs Udima. Today, we have week one of the St. Clair Saints Call of Duty competing in the CCL. How are you feeling about this one, John?
It's good to be back. My favorite place in the whole world in the studio beside you casting Call of Duty. And we got ourselves a new game, new year, new CCL season, and it's very interesting. We just saw St. Clair actually play in the CCL. They did end up losing their first game of the season, the first match of the season to Northwood, but we were talking about Northwood, one of the best teams in all of collegiate Call of Duty, so not anything to be ashamed of. They did end up taking a search and destroy off them, actually, so pretty good so far to start off the season.
Yeah, we actually did have a Northwood coming in at number 2 in the power rankings here in the CCL, so those are going to be from Pally Boy's power rankings. He's one of those players very familiar with the college COD scene and whatever, so very good to have all of that information there, and to, actually be putting up maps against the number 2 power rank team. St. Clair came in at number 15 on the power ranking, so still in that top 15 positioning, going through better rank than you have Windsor. I'm expecting tonight coming in strong, a hot performance from St. Clair, coming off of that loss from Northwood. They do have that momentum from a search and destroy win. I think we should see a lot of confidence coming in here against this matchup.
Yeah, it's been really interesting to kind of see them evolve over the last couple of months, right? Because we were talking about even before they came over to Vanguard, like in Cold War, they were really, really good with their respawns, and their search and destroys seemed a little bit lackluster. But I mean, we talked about even in their finals against ICC, they were able to take search and destroys off of that. They took a search and destroy off Northwood, so it just shows how much this team is evolving together as a cohesive unit. And we had the addition of a new person actually to the Call of Duty lineup.
Yeah, that is going to be Audie, actually. So we do have our roster here. So if we do take a look at things, it'll be Brandon last coming in from last semester as well. Lots of last there. But then coming in, the new player, Christina Audie Lewis, just as you were saying there. I've been very familiar with her play, actually, for the last, 4 years I've known Audie. So known Audie for quite a long time, and she's always been very, very strong player, and I'm very excited to see her on the roster here now coming into this one. Coming up next, Frank Arilla Nowens. He was that big S&D player brought in this year. He's played last semester during Cold War, and is going to be coming again here in Vanguard. He will be in the starting lineup tonight, alongside Lasted, and so will Priestley be. Justin Priestley Perrant, he's going to be in the starting lineup as well tonight. Everybody knows Priestley. He's honestly, in my opinion, one of the faces of this roster, and he's definitely one of those players that we're expecting to make a big impact in this game. Everybody knows and loves Nathan Corius MP Peralt. He's known for all of his flashy plays whenever he comes in and makes an impact in these games, so he's going to be coming through, not in our starting lineup tonight, but he is in the nest ready to go, supporting the rest of the guys and girls. And Trent Sovereign going to be the last one. He's going to be a player that you guys all know and love as well, coming through from the last semester, and a player that's played with us for a couple years here now, going to come through in the starting lineup here once again tonight. So basically this very basic starting 4 here for the Saints coming through in CCL against the U of Windsor, and I'm very, very excited to have this battle.
Yeah, for sure, and you can't forget about the coach back there, Dawson. Could be his potential last time as the coach here, last hurrah for him, as he will be graduating in the coming semester. So I think this is where you really give it all, especially we know for years and years he's been on the team for many years. This year he took a step back and now he's coaching it. We know how much he loves this team. We know how much effort he pours into it, how much love he has for these players. And I'm only expecting success out of this team because I think their backbone of it in Dawson is so strong. And I really want to see how well he can do moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm not 100% on what the scoreline was, but U of Win is coming off of a game against Western here right now. So both teams coming off of a game, doubleheaders for everybody all around tonight. So it's very exciting stuff to see, and maybe we can get a little bit of a word from our production crew. Maybe we can have an update on that U of Windsor Western game. Not sure if they know what happened there, but yeah, we don't really know exactly. But all I know is that they are warmed up as well. They're coming into this game prepared and ready to go as well. So I'm very much so expecting a good matchup between these two teams here. And St. Clair having a little bit of better practice in that first game. Northwood being a little bit stronger of a team there than Western. So it's going to be St. Clair all around, probably a little bit more warmed up. You can see them on our screen here now, all those players getting ready to go. We should be hopping into a lobby and getting started with the game here in a few moments. But with that being said, let's take a little bit of a peep at our maps and our series, kind of what we're expecting to see here.
Yeah, so we are going to have on Vanguard, actually, it is going to be just 2 modes. It's just going to be Hardpoint, Search and Destroy. So it makes it very interesting because we had control last season on Cold War, and it was really St. Clair's strength was their control. We saw all throughout the season. They only, I think, lost 1 time until they got to that finals on control. But now with that mode gone, just the Hardpoint and SNDs, it's going to be really tough for them to, make an impact. If they have to make sure these Hardpoints are locked down for them to complete the series. But if they can get that respawn down, it is going to be massive for them moving forward.
100%. I know me and you weren't crazy big fans of how this new format is laid up. The one thing that really messes with my head a little bit is you'd expect it to go Hardpoint, Search and Destroy, Hardpoint, Search and Destroy, Hardpoint almost, but you're getting the double Hardpoint between map 3 and 4, and that's the one thing that really messes with me a little bit. If your Hardpoint game's on, your series could be over right then and there, and so we're expecting a big Hardpoint game here from both teams. It's been one of those modes that you're probably scrimming the most. Search and Destroy, it's one of those very basics. Like, you can get away with, playing it a few times a week and being kind of all right with it, but the Hardpoint there is going to be one of those big ones where you got to come through, you got to be scrimming that almost day in, day out, staying up to date with the meta, staying up to date with the nerfs, the buffs, everything, needs said with the guns, the maps, anything possible. So it is going to be the Hardpoint kind of just almost deciding this whole series.
Yeah, and I think more importantly than anything, the rotations are going to be huge, right? And I feel like looking at the maps we have today, a lot of them are pretty close quarters maps. So you have to make sure you know where you're rotating to, where the respawns are, and which hardpoints you can take without worrying too much about flanks. So I think that's going to be super important. Obviously, Dawson is going to be very hard on them for that kind of stuff. They are scrimming consistently with all these players together, and I really like the fact that we've moved to the 6-man roster because it really allows you to flex a lot of what you want to do. And if you have a strategy for a certain map, you can implement that with a different player, and it can be super effective. And I really like the flexibility that having this bigger roster allows you to do.
Yeah, we see that with a lot of the Saints titles. I know we haven't really seen a whole lot of the games yet here, just being one of the first broadcasts we have back. But we're going to see that a lot more this semester. More depth in rosters, and I'm very, very excited to see that. We might not see it as much in COD, where we see players switched up to 2 as much, but I know, for example, with me being a little bit more involved with the Valorant roster this semester, we're going to see, a lot of changes going into maps and whatnot with the Valorant roster, maybe the Siege roster, other rosters like that, that have a little bit more of an agent select and things like that, that will actually see a lot of changes being made. So very, very exciting season coming ahead here for the Saints. I know we did some work over the holidays there, and we were excited to get into this one here now in the winter semester. And CCL is something I've been very, very excited for. It's you only get it one semester a year. You only get get the opportunity to cast probably 30-40 hours of it total throughout a semester. So it's very exciting stuff for me to have CCL back here now. Very, very excited to be on the mic and to be covering this game for all of you guys.
Yeah, it's the most prestigious collegiate Call of Duty that you can get, and realistically, you're playing against some of the best teams in the entire country. So your competition is at that top level where you can't just glide through like we saw St. Clair do in the regular season, a couple of the smaller leagues during the fall. In this CCL, you just saw them lose against Northwood. You're going to have these really, really tough opponents that are going to come at you with all they've got, and it's going to be, I feel like, a lot more challenging than maybe the relaxed feeling they had during the regular season last semester, where it just seemed like there was nobody that could stop them.
Yeah, there's a lot more powerhouse teams coming through in the CCL this year. You have a world champion and the Call of Duty world champion, playing there, coming out for Bay State. He's just winning, millions of dollars in 2018, 19, 20, whatever it may be. Now coming through and playing in the College COD League, gonna definitely have a big impact. You see those few top teams there, the Bay States, the Northwoods, the Ottawa, Kansases. They're gonna be the teams that you're really gonna look out for in the powerhouse teams. We have the St. Clair Saints just coming off that CCL channel and playing against, Chris Radial and Fame. Those players might have been playing, from a little bit far away there and been playing from California, but it doesn't matter. These players are top challenger players. They're players that have so much experience in the game and whatnot that St. Clair, when they go against, these top 4 or 5 powerhouse teams, they're really going to struggle. What I'm really excited to see is the ones where St. Clair is playing, the teams that may not be in the top 5, but are in the top 10 or, in the top 15, or even the teams that are just at the top 25 teams teams in general. Very excited for those matchups because those are the ones where we're going to see map 5s. We're going to see, 250 to 240 hardpoint score lines. There's a lot that I'm excited for in the CCL season. And, getting one of those matches against Northwood, being one of those powerhouse teams already out of the way and just done and dusted. It's your first game over with, week 1. Don't have to worry about it again. I think has got to be a little bit of a bittersweet feeling.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like, it is week 1. You kind of want to get started off on a good note, but you are playing against some of the best, one of the best teams in the entire league. So I think for their first game, the fact that they were able to take a map is big because, yes, these players have been playing together for at least a semester here, but it is a new game. It is new maps. It is definitely a new way to play. And, the fact that you're able to get some kind of organization together, the fact that you were able to take that map is big. And, I mean, you're playing a doubleheader, so you have another chance here to try and make it back here in the second series, try and get yourself to that 1-1 record, which I think, even though you may have lost the first one, is still pretty positive for your week 1 result.
Yeah, I definitely do agree that it is pretty positive, but we have not finished with our week 1 results quite yet. We got our 2 matches, both getting played up here. So the lobby, just having some, issues as per usual. It is Call of Duty special. It's a Call of Duty special, yeah. You're playing that lobby tag, you get into one lobby, be like, oh, this host is dropping. We got to switch up, go to the next one. So that's just a little bit about what we're experiencing here right now. So hang tight with us for a few more minutes. You can actually see the lobby on your screen up here now. All the players are in here and ready to go, just waiting to actually get started. So I know we're very, very excited for this one all around. And I know there's been a little bit of banter. I mean, I know personally, even myself, I'm friends with a couple of you at Windsor guys. I've been saying, oh, you aren't ready to play St. Clair. You aren't ready to see how hard these guys have been working in the off season and whatnot. So it is going to be always nice to see the Battle of Windsors, and coming out in week 1, even more exciting.
Yeah, it's a really banger way to start off the season here, start off the stream. And I mean, for me, seeing how much Windsor has grown in the past couple of years is huge because my brother actually was the one who started Windsor Esports over there at the university. So seeing how much they've grown in more of a personal way is really, really big. And I really like where they've gone with this. And, seeing how much effort they put into this Call of Duty team, like the fact that they were one of the only teams that streamed in the last couple of years, and they wanted that just because they wanted to go back, look at their VOD reviews, see how to get better, and to have players and coaches that want to have that VOD review, to have that passion to be better at the game is such a good thing to see. And it leads, they're in the CCL now. They are going to be playing against some of the best teams in the country. And the fact that you have that drive to say, okay, we want to become, competitive in this league is so huge, not only for them, but for the people who are playing against them as well.
100% couldn't agree more with you there. So I know personally, I'm going to come in here with a prediction saying the Saints take this one probably 3-0 or 3-1. I think the Saints clean up all the hard points. The only one they made drop is the map 2 on the Search and Destroy, in my personal opinion. But they did just come off a very hot win against Northwood, being on Search and Destroy as well. So they should be very well all around it. I'm going to say 3-0 for the Saints here going into this one. Do you have any predictions from your side?
I think it's going to be a 3-1. I think actually they are going to win that Search and Destroy, but I think 3 hard points back to back to back. It is very tough to win all those in one series. So I think maybe one of those missed rotations, and maybe Windsor has some kind of plan on even the Bokage map, I believe it's called, or I forgot how to say that. Bokage. Thank you. But for Bokage, I could have a plan for that map because it is the only one we are going to see out of all of these maps. It is going to be Berlin twice, and the Tuscan, I believe, is the other map.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, Tuscan. Yep, it is on the Tuscan Search and Destroy.
So it's going to be interesting to see. Like, they could have a plan for that other map, but I mean, it is the same 2 maps for the other hard points, Search and Destroy. So I think those can be locked down pretty well for St. Clair.
I look at this and I see this map pool, and it's a lot less interesting than what we were able to see at Cold War. We're looking at this and we see a total of 3 different maps for 2 different modes. And so it just seems like we're going to see a lot of repetitiveness maybe throughout this whole year. So it is going to be very exciting to see. And I'm also very interested in, how the St. Clair Saints are going to do, learning what maps they're good at, learning what maps they might not be so good at, learning what modes they're good at, because everything changes now that we're into a new game. So very excited for me and you to kind of learn the ins and the outs of the Saints roster going in these first few weeks to kind of give a better analysis as we do head deeper into the season. But this is going to be it. St. Clair Saints Esports is back, and the winter semester getting underway with St. Clair Saints in the CCL.
Yeah, so look at the top scoreboards are swapped there, but looks like Windsor actually the first one to hop on a point, and Bobby could find the first kill on the Sauce. So a good start here for Windsor, actually hopping on the hard point.
Yeah, so it is going to be, just make sure that the scoreboards are flopped. It's going to be the St. Clair Saints currently leading right now, 16-0. Keep that in mind. We do have it all fixed up here where the logos are switched over, and we're working as everything we can on the back end. The names aren't going to be able to switch because that is in-game, but we are going to be able to switch around everything else, so bear with us. But yeah, the St. Clair Saints going to come through here with a great lead to start them off. It is going to be 30-0, and it is going to be the first points on the board here now for the side of U of Windsor. Priestley, with some big challenges, will take down Bobby Soxers, and this is Hardpoint back in control. Priestley and Gorilla holding this one down. Rotations are coming through though now, as they do have to rotate, and it is going to be the side of U of Windsor ready to go.
Yeah, they're waiting for the players to come over here, and it's a good start for St. Clair. I mean, the fact that you did end up losing pretty badly on those hard points. They were in the 100-point club on 2 out of 3 of those hard points in their series against Northwood. They just really seem to struggle on the respawn mode. That means that, you're starting off this one with a good point, but Windsor fighting back now. It's looking pretty good here on the second hard point.
Yes, for sure. It is going to be about 20 points put on the board here now for them, just evening this one up ever so slightly. And Brandon finally getting an answer back there, but Cure is going to be testing him as well. Misty going to be able to get the cleanup onto Brandon. This hard point will be contested, looking like it might go favor of the Saints, but no, U of Windsor will manage to hold that one down and will keep control. Bobby Soxer's here for the support, and everybody from the side of U of Windsor really impacting this one to make a comeback.
Yeah, they are not letting them through onto this hard point at all. Kier going to find that frag, will not be traded back, and
wow,
it's almost an even game. Kier on a 5 killing spree right now, just popping off, and a lot of these players are new this semester from the last one, so they did have tryouts just recently, and they're already looking really good, picking up a lead actually here over St. Clair. I definitely, after the first point, thought it was going to be a very, very much St. Clair favorite game, but they evened it up, and it's looking good so far.
Yeah, that's the thing with all these new rosters, right, in collegiate esports. Sometimes it's very hard to get a grasp on how solid a team is until you actually go into things here. So we do see a lot of a new U of Windsor roster. But with that being said, St. Clair is going to regain their lead now, leading 60-44, and will manage to maintain the point. We're having a rough start from Gorilla. Only 6 seconds on the hard point, 1 and 8 in the kill death category. So really looking to get him to turn things around potentially and maybe see this one swing a little bit more in favor of the St. Clair Saints. However, we do have Priestley absolutely doing what he does best. Almost a minute on the hill and 9-3 currently.
Yeah, we expect that from Priestley. He is one of the best players here for St. Clair, and they did cover that hard point pretty well. Looking at the next one here, it looks like they do want to rotate over to that one sometime soon. And for me, honestly, I really want to see Gorilla step up here. 1 and 8 is just not a good look here to start us off, and 1 and 9 now, just struggling a little bit. And he looked pretty good in that Northwood series, but in this one just not doing so well.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see what can happen. With that being said, it is going to be the Saints still maintaining a 20-point lead, but a little bit closer of a game than I was expecting here going in on this one. I think, it being a new Call of Duty and it being a whole new map and mode and rotations and etc. for all of these players is going to make things definitely a little bit interesting, but it is actually going to be the side of U of Windsor clawing right back. A few more seconds. We do have a tie game here. We do have Connor Durham just coming through, finding a few frags, and it is going to be the side of U of Windsor regaining a lead.
Yeah, they have evened out this game pretty well so far, and looks like they want to try and break back into this point. So far, they are just holding backside. It's actually working out pretty well for them. Nobody quite pushing on, but Sauce going to find a pick, but Misty gets a trade back on Priestley, and they will hold this point over right until the end.
Yeah, it's going to be... looks like the last 5 seconds or so will go to them, and the rotations are going to be here for the Saints ready to go. So, there is a little bit of a benefit in that regard, but actually, rotations not are looking not as good as I thought. It is going to be the side of U of Windsor hopping on it first. Bobby Soxers is there, and Priestley looking for the challenge. Not able to find an immediate one, but that's going to be 10 seconds already gone before St. Clair is able to hop the hill. And, U of Windsor maintaining a little bit of their scoreline lead here. However, it is going to be St. Clair trying to answer back. This hill is all St. Clair here right now.
Back and forth, this game is going pretty even for both sides. Trades coming out on point. This fifth point, very, very heavily contested. It's pretty much in the middle of the map, so it is very tough to maintain control. This one looks like St. Clair has it for a little bit, but they can't seem to Windsor can't seem to get anyone on that point. They do seem to be stopping it for a second, but can't really get control of it. And now the game swinging back in St. Clair's favor. Really, really close affair here to start us off.
Yeah, you know, this will be the kind of last attempt here on the hill. They do manage to get it, so they will clean up the last 8 seconds or so. St. Clair just going to get ready to rotate onto the next hard point. However, it is going to be the side of you, Windsor, who has the spawns. They have the setup for the next hard point. Going to make this one very difficult on St. Clair. St. Clair have been a little bit behind on their rotations. Brandon starting it off nicely, though. Will find a pick. Priestley finding one as well to trade out Brandon. And this should allow for a small opening for St. Clair. Priestley in a big gunfight, not able to clean up Cure. Now, this is going to make things very difficult here for St. Clair. There's one, almost a second, and that is one that Sauce really good needed.
Yeah, actually a pretty close game here. And I got to say, last time we saw Windsor on stream, it was definitely a St. Clair very, very one-sided affair. They didn't even make it to that 70-point mark, but now actually pulling up the lead. No, we'll go back to St. Clair here, but so much improvement from Windsor so far just on this hard point alone. And I really, really like where this is going because this is the kind of competition, kind of experience you're going to need moving forward in the CCL, and they're looking really, really good to start us off.
I really do support U of Windsor's roster rebuild. Things are looking good here for them so far right now compared to the last season that I did see them come out and play. So St. Clair just going to clean up these last 5 seconds or so of scrap time, build themselves a little bit more of a lead here once again, about 25 points. This is the little bit of the bigger leads that we've seen here throughout this game, surprisingly, as it's just been back and forth all game long, and St. Clair looking to get ready for the rotations. However, it is going to be the side of U of Windsor getting ready to contest them, but with Gorilla and Priestley finding those kills is definitely going to swing this one a little bit in favor here of St. Clair.
Yeah, I definitely think St. Clair's rotations have not been as clean as they typically are. We talked about before how their hardpoint seemed to struggle in those last couple of weeks, and especially the last couple of series in Cold War. And it seems like it's kind of translated here a little bit into Vanguard. They just haven't really been able to control these sites as cleanly. This one, though, Priestley has been able to clean up on. He has 4 kills on that point already, is holding it strong. And they're looking pretty good here, holding this into the last 20 seconds. Looks like Windsor wants to rotate away from it. They will send one there. But there's going to be one hiding in the corner. Brandon going to find Conundrum there. So they will clean up that point. Priestley going to find 2 in the back. That's a huge start to this next hard point.
Yeah, that's 4 down. I mean, St. Clair has full map control here right now. You see knives out almost for the side of U of Windsor here, trying to just make something happen, but St. Clair still far looking good. It is going to be 175 to 119 now. This is the biggest lead we've seen all game long, and it just took a little bit for St. Clair to kind of get into the rhythm of things. They're looking a lot stronger here now. You see the feed looking a lot better in their favor, and that's a little bit of a poor flash thrown there from the side of Cure, but it's going to go a retry, and he's going to send some more utility in there, and it is going to provide an opening here for the side of U of Windsor, but quickly shut down. Brandon, Priestley, Gorilla all finding frags, and that's 4 down. Once again, St. Clair taking control of the game.
These last 2 hard points have just been all St. Clair. There's nothing that U Windsor can do to try and break these points. 27 seconds still remaining, but Brandon on a killing spree here doesn't get that last one, though. Bobby going to find him before he can get the 3-piece. But really good try. Gorilla going to find 2 for himself, though. And, I mean, Gorilla and Brandon both on killing sprees right now. The beginning of the game definitely was pretty even, but these last couple hard points just been all St. Clair.
Yeah, St. Clair slowly but surely locking this one up. Honestly, St. Clair can almost just play for scrap time at this point and come through with a game win here. So all the cards going to be in their favor. We have a 95-point advantage here now. It is going to be the side of U of Windsor, who is already hopped on the next, but we see streaks coming through from Brandon, and this is what's going to really provide you to be a problem. That player way on the back line, Misty, the anchor, holding spawn, is going to be cleared out from the streaks, and now it is going to be the trades coming through. Sauce finds 1, Priestley finds 2, and all the players from St. Clair going to find the kills that they need. They can win on this hard point if U of Windsor can contest for 10 seconds. They will be able to stop it, but so far looking good for St. Clair.
Priestley on a spree as well. Streaks can come down. Not going to get any kills with it, though. And they will take control of this point. A significant lead still here for St. Clair. Windsor trying to fight back. Still have 1 on point here, but looks like St. Clair just kind of seeing what picks they can get, preparing for that next hard point, because that is where they can potentially win the game.
Yeah, for sure. They only need 29 points here. U of Windsor will need 105, so a big difference here between these two teams. But St. Clair, don't get too ahead of yourselves here quite yet. Sauce is in very good position to find a few frags. He will take down another, but Sauce has been spotted up there, and Misty and Co are looking for him. This next hardpoint will immediately be in hands of the side of U of Windsor. This could be a problem for St. Clair, especially as 3 players do drop. The only one left up is going to be Gorilla, but I do have to say Gorilla has turned things around substantially, from 1-9 now to 17-20.
Yeah, it's definitely what we want to see, and that has been such a big impact on this game. That's why they have leveraged the lead that they currently have. Gorilla going to find 3, going to find Brandon on the last one. Will get picked off, though, and they won't get control at this point, actually. A good try, but wow. Bobby going to hold that hall, and that means destroyed hall will still be in Windsor's favor.
So St. Clair has like the fragging potential, but like you were saying just a few moments ago, the rotations aren't as clean as we are used to seeing them. So it is going to actually be the side of view of Windsor starting with a comeback here, and something that I was really not expecting to say to you guys here. But St. Clair, from what went to a 75 point lead, is now crumbled down to just 25 points, 26 points, and it's going to be U of Windsor currently on the move.
These two flankers are going to be very important here. If Gorilla and Sauce can find picks on the backside, this could be massive. The collapse is going to come in here. There's going to be a spawn. Misty not going to see one coming in. Oh, he's going to get the pick.
That's three down once again for the side of U of Windsor, and that's going to be Connordom finding one. That's the only player that wasn't down, and it's going to be St. Clair a full reset here, and you can win off of this. If you are U of Windsor, you need a contest for St. Clair, and you need rotations. U of Windsor, honestly, might have the cards in their favor here now.
Break has to come in here. This is going to be close. 220 to 223 right now. Can the break come through for St. Clair, or U Windsor take this first hard point map? Misty going to find the first pick on Gorilla. That is absolutely massive. Bobby and Misty going to find one. Conundrum going to find a third. They can hold this over. There's only one left on point. Ooh, Sauce finds one on the flank. Will contest this point. This is so close.
Yeah, I mean, St. Clair's just playing for a little bit of scrap time here. I don't know if I fully support it because the rotations are all going in favor of U of Windsor here. Now, U of Windsor is just getting ready to hop on to next. Everybody going down for St. Clair. A lot of this is going to be up to Priestley in this gunfight, but he's going to fall. Brandon has to get the kill. He will find it. So there's at least a couple down. McConnordrum going to shut down that one on the site. U of Windsor will take an advantage here from a deficit that was nearly 100 points moments ago. 240 to 230, but that's 4 down. Sauce is going to get team killed, however. This point still in favor of U of Windsor. St. Clair needing to get these kills. Gorilla will fall. St. Clair regaining hardpoint control, 239 to 236.
Holy smokes. Nobody can take control at this point. Trades going out all across the map, everywhere. Nobody can find any kind of advantage. Conundrum going to find Sauce here, but trades coming out all through the map. There's 8 people on this point, and nobody can find anything on it. 240, 240, 23 seconds left here. U Windsor going to get some points here. There's only 5 seconds left. They got to get into this point. Can they find it? Pick going to come through for Sauce, but isn't going to be enough. They will get it back. 245, 246. Who is going to take this one? Sauce and Priest are going to find 2 picks for themselves here. They are going to get the win. 250 to 246. Somehow, in that craziness, St. Clair able to break into that point and take it. They will take the first map, but that was insane.
Yeah, disregard what's on your screen. St. Clair did find that one,
Oh,
250, 246. I mean, what a way to start the season, John. I mean, first cast back, first map back, and we got the momentum.
When I envisioned the Battle of Windsor back 2 years ago, this is exactly what I wanted to see. This is what I imagined. That was insane. That was crazy.
Yeah, for sure. So it is going to be the side of St. Clair barely squeaking through with that one. Honestly, little disappointed that it came that close for St. Clair. St. Clair should have been able to clean that one up. You know, when you have a lead that's 100 points and you're only 30 away from closing it out, you honestly, you just have to play your scrap time. You just have to find a little bit of time on the hill. It's literally U of Windsor playing, perfect Call of Duty there to end off that game, but just barely shy from being able to clean up. One gunfight goes a different way, and that could be very easily U of Windsor's game.
Yeah, and even you think about scrap time, even those 4 or 5 seconds at the very end that you don't take, that you save your rotations, if you get those 4 or 5 seconds, you end up winning the game. So, I mean, a 4-point difference, that their first game of the season, absolute banger. I love to see that. And, I mean, going to Search and Destroy, every single one of these players is now on edge because, like I said, last time they played, Windsor played St. Clair, it was not close. It was very, very much in St. Clair's favor. But this one really could have gone either way. So I think going in Search and Destroy, these players are going to be a lot more on edge. They're going to be a lot more ready. And I think for St. Clair, you got to realize, Windsor's nothing to scoff at anymore. They almost took your first hard point. So, I mean,
I'm going to have to say, I agree. They're nothing to scoff at anymore. U of Windsor definitely improving in talent, but that was sloppy.
Yeah, I think so too, for sure.
That was something that could very well be cleaned up. I know we're very early on in the season here, and it's less experience here than Cold War, something that we've seen them play for a year.
Yeah.
But I'm expecting to see a little bit more of cleaner play on the rotations, the trades, playing as a team. It just looked like very, what is the word, honestly pubby. They kind of came in and it was just frag out and see you can hop on the hard point kind of thing. So I'd like to see a little bit more of an organized team plan, rotations getting played for a little bit stronger here from both sides. But yeah, so far, great game out of the gates. Only a 4-point difference between the two teams.
I loved it. And I think we're going to take a short break. Oh, no, we're going to go right into Search and Destroy. So I mean, for me, I definitely think going into Search and Destroy, it is a completely different mindset. That was especially those last last 60 seconds. Like that was literally everyone running on a point, trade, 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 and nobody could get anything down to the point until the very end, where Priestley and Gorilla found picks, and that was just the end of the game, right? So you gotta take a step back, say, okay, that was a very intense game 1. We're going to Search and Destroy in game number 2, and it's going to be a totally different story. So I mean, for me, I can't wait to see what they have in store for Windsor, because they definitely came out a lot better than I thought they were going to. And for St. Clair, clean up some of the sloppiness. You're not going to just win this off of frags anymore. You have to actually compete and have a team. And I'm sure Dawson right now in the nest is saying, okay, guys, you can't just play this like you did last semester. Every single team is going to be competitive now. Every single team is going to be really, really hard to beat. And out there actually, yeah. So, I mean, looking forward, I think game number 2 is going to be really, really good. And I mean, we have 2 more hard points. So, I mean, for me, you don't have that third map control that St. Clair was so good at. You have to play those 2 more hard points. And I mean,
hope the Search and Destroy replaces the control a little bit. I mean, from what I've only seen what they did against Northwood. But it was nice. It looked fairly solid. So I'm hoping to see some of that come to light here in this series now and show some consistency in the Search and Destroy play. If that can, prove to be a benefit for them, is that Search and Destroy play, I think that will definitely, really help out them throughout the semester. However, your hard point's going to be the big bread and butter, right? You can now, the big difference is that you can win a series now from hard point alone. And that is the big thing. Is that the fact that you can win a series from one game mode is mind-blowing in Call of Duty.
I mean, you think about how much more these teams are going to be practicing hardpoint, how much more these games are going to mean, because you don't have that third game mode to fall back on. That you have to play these hardpoints perfectly, because your Search and Destroy can be like the best in all of Call of Duty, but it doesn't matter because you're playing 3 hardpoints, and that's going to win you a series. So I think for me, St. Clair has to clean it up. I want to see them look like the hardpoint team they were at the beginning of last semester in fall, rather than the hardpoint that it seems like they've moved to in the last couple of months.
Yeah, for sure. So very, very exciting stuff. We are going to get the lobby all set up here right now. Players are all joining up, and we are just going to flip sides and flip spawns, or sorry, something, whatever we are doing in the back line. They're doing something with the lobbies. They're doing COD producer stuff right now, but we're just in here on the mic. Yeah, so they're just moving spots around and getting all their team selections going. So hopefully we do have everything ready to go here in just a couple minutes for you guys. And Search and Destroy, going to be a big one. And now the big thing is, are we going to see them play this one, slower, passive, play for your picks, play off of it? Or are we going to see like the standoff Cold War Saints roster where it's fly in, play your gamble plays, try to get these early gunfights and get an early advantage on the rounds?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the map. Honestly, I'm not too familiar with the intricacies of each map. I think specifically these maps do seem a little bit more varied, I think, than a lot of the Cold War maps, where I think you have a lot more angles, a lot more places you have to check. I mean, obviously, when you've been playing COD for a year and you get to those last couple months, the map's ins and outs, every single rotation. How teams are going to play, where their points are going to be when you first spawn. So I think now that you're in a new game, you're in these new maps, you have to think about where these players are going to go, what kind of plays you want to make, and it comes down to a lot more strategy and see how much you practice. Because I mean, the game's been out for a little while now, so you have had that time to figure it out. But I mean, you haven't been playing a ton of competitive organized stuff just yet, because we are in the very beginning of the season. So I think it's going to make it very interesting, and I think it's going to mean a lot more of these rounds are going to be closer than you think.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to have to agree once again, because U of Windsor is not looking like the U of Windsor team that, we've seen maybe for the past couple of years. This is a new COD roster coming through, and a roster that's definitely proving themselves to be a little bit stronger and kind of almost like shutting me up kind of thing right away. With this one, I came in, I was like, okay, St. Clair should be able to come in and just kind of, do what they do here in this one. But no, not going to be the case. U of Windsor putting up the battle and, having a lead a couple times throughout that game. So now we're loading into the Tuscan Search and Destroy here. There's going to be lots of things I'm searching for. Do get a nice little bit of a preview of the map. And we're going to hop into things here now. The first Search and Destroy of the season. We have seen St. Clair take one on Northwood, but can they do it again here up against the U of Windsor?
It's going to be interesting to see, and I think A is going to be very, very highly contested. Obviously, it feels a little bit, not like Moscow, but kind of the Moscow feel, right? Where, like, you want to go for A because A is the easiest place to attack, but there always is the B possibility here, and we have been rushing out. No picks coming through just yet.
Yeah, for sure, but that's going to be Priestley, the first one. It's actually with a piece of utility taking down Clair there, so a good start here for the side of St. Clair, finding themselves an advantage and making this one now a 4 versus 3. Can they carry on with what they need to do here? And everyone just kind of playing for picks, sorry. It's going to be Bobby Soxers looking for something. Priestley going to find another one. That's actually Priestley already with 2. Gorilla find 1, and now it's a 1v4, all up to Connor. Or
Conundrum.
Oh, my English, man.
I got you. Conundrum here in the 1v4. Not really going to have much of a chance here. Gorilla going to take a couple shots. Not going to get him down, but now he will. And that's a clean 4-0 to start us off. And, I mean, for St. Clair, obviously, that is exactly what you want to start with. I think the fact that you're able to get that first round is very, very important because it bolsters your confidence and you say, okay, we came off of a very close hard point, but, I mean, our search looked really good against Northwood. And I think that's something that Dawson has really been pushing in, the last couple of months because we saw it on stream. I mean, you saw it in his games. Their search wasn't that good. So I think they've really improved in that marker, and I'm interested to see how Windsor fight back here in round 2.
Yeah, exactly. It was a Priestley and Gorilla show so far in map number 1. They're each finding 2 picks for themselves, and see if they can do it here again. Now with them on the attacking side, and Priestley, once again, starting off with an opening pick. He's been a player to watch here so far in the Search and Destroy series. Gorilla getting aggressive. He's going to have a player sneaking right behind him, but Gorilla almost finding that one on a Conundrum, but not going to be able to do it. So it is going to be a 3-on-3 that we are seeing here now. Brandon, Sauce, and Priestley versus Misty, Bobby, and Conundrum. But Brandon will be taking down Bobby, and Brandon getting Misty, going for the chase on the trade out. Conundrum will get Brandon down, but now they have the intel on where Conundrum is. He has to go and defuse the bomb. With only 20 seconds left, takes 7.5 seconds to defuse. This is looking beautiful for St. Clair. He finds the first one. He comes around. This is very, very winnable, but he's going to have to hop this bomb. He's checking that spot, but this is going to be all up to Priestley to win here. The kill is there, and Priestley was able to just play time there on the bomb. Going to result in St. Clair finding yet another round win. That should be 2-0 here now.
Yeah, and I mean, for Conundrum, that was a 3K there. He could have gone for the 4 if he got that defused, but Priestley, again, just proving better on the day. 4-0 right now in the Search and Destroy. And, I mean, I think Priestley, for me, had a pretty tame fall. Like, he had his games where he popped off, but it wasn't the kind of Priestley that we came to expect as St. Clair viewers and observers and watchers and fans. And, I mean, to start off this season, I think his game against Northwood was really, really good. Him and Brandon looked really good in that series. And 4-0 to start off the Search and Destroy. Going back to his Search and Destroy roots looks so good here, starting us off in the series.
Yeah, his roots of Search and Destroy, definitely. It is going to be actually a very fast plan coming through from U of Windsor. So St. Clair going to have to act quickly on this one. All, having to collapse on the site and find their, dedicated picks. It is going to be Brandon finding the first one there, but the defuse is the big thing. Like, right, there's already 10 seconds off the clock, and it takes so long to defuse bombs here in this game. So we'll see how they can do with it. It's going to be a lot of players still hiding out there. That's going to be another pick coming through for Gorilla. So now 4-on-2. They might be able to get somebody to hop on the bomb here soon as Priestley finding the third. There's one player left. Priestley going to get shot down. Brandon there for the trade. There is time for the defuse. There is a player on it from the side of the Saints. And that is going to be round number 3 going in their favor. And St. Clair really showing themselves to be a strong Search and Destroy team this year so far from what we've seen.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, really calm and collected. There was a pretty fast bomb plant there, but in the end, St. Clair able to get just one pick for Windsor, able to keep 3 people alive there up until the end, and they've looked solid so far in the Search and Destroy. There hasn't really been a flaw either on offense or defense so far, and a lot of it has to do with Priestley. Finding those opening picks is so huge when you're playing this game mode because no respawns. It is 4v4, like you don't have a lot of lives to give away, so I think for me, definitely Windsor has to try and shut down Priestley, and for St. Clair, Priestley just needs to keep popping off, find these first frags, and they're going to be able to take this 6-0.
Yes, for sure. Gorilla will be the first one to drop there from a nice little pick from Cure, finding the head of him, and it's now going to be a 3-on-4 for the side of St. Clair, but quickly turned around as Bobby Zoxer is going to find another one, making it a 2-on-4, and this is exactly what U of Windsor needed to really turn things around.
Ooh.
Brandon getting shot down. That's somehow finding that kill. Priestley, all that's left. He finds the first. Can he find what's left? Not quite yet, but it is going to be Conundrum coming from behind. Priestley spots it out. Can he turn and burn with the pistol? Not going to work out. Defuse is there, and it is going to be the side of U of Windsor getting their first round on the board. Now 3-1 scoreline.
That was a crazy shot from Bobby Soxers there. The fact that he got that headshot was insane, and Windsor going to claim their first round of the Search and Destroy, and a good start for them. They needed some momentum back in their hands. For St. Clair, we need Priestley first picks were so huge in those first 3 rounds, and wasn't able to find it in this one. Windsor ready for that move from St. Clair, and they get a round back, but still very, very heavily in St. Clair's favor here. I think it's still a tall task to try and come back in the series.
Yes, indeed. So all 8 players back on the playing field here now. It's been a little bit of a rough start from Sauce here, but Gorilla, Brandon, and Priestley all doing their work, and Conundrum has really been putting an impact here for the side view of Windsor, turning things around. So let's get this one played out. Bobby Soxer is trying to maybe fake a bomb plant early. He's going to hop it momentarily, but then not completely dedicating the stick. He should be seeing somebody come around here and put this bomb down shortly. But it is going to be Brandon from a long angle trying to challenge it out. Misty going to tag him down to nearly 1 HP, but somehow keeps his life. A little bit more pressure getting put up onto Gorilla here. Conundrum going to be there and waiting for it. It is now a 3-on-4 player advantage in the hands of you of Windsor.
First time this game we haven't seen a quick plant come down. Windsor finally going to put that down on site. It is 3v3 here. Lots of time. 40 seconds. Priestley going to find 2 quick ones. Brandon going to find a third. And Conundrum, the only one left here for you. Windsor going to find a first pick, though. Going to heal the full. This is possible.
Yeah, he's keeping his life around, and it is going to be Sauce going for the stick. And now, I don't know about this one. Sauce Priestley will be able to help him out. The defuse is going to come through. And, I mean, hey, that stick was a little bit scary there for a second.
Hey, he trusts his teammate. He trusts Priestley on that one.
Pros don't fake. Donka
Pros
said it before the
pros
stream.
don't fake, true.
Pros don't fake. So it is going to be 4-1 here now in favor of St. Clair. And, only needing 2 more rounds to close out the search and destroy and provide themselves a 2-0 series in the lead. If they do get a 2-0 series in the lead, they have such an advantage here. Now putting you of Windsor in a position where they would have to reverse sweep. Still a couple more rounds needed for the Saints to do that, but it's getting to that point almost.
Yeah, and I think obviously Sauce struggling here. 0-2. Priestley at 9-2 is popping off here in search. I want to see some more from Sauce, obviously. Just hasn't really been having a great series so far overall. And Priestley just kind of been fragging out the Priestley we expected. Gorilla going to find the first pick on Conundrum. That is absolutely huge. They will be going for a bomb B site here, and that is something we haven't seen so far in this series. Should be interesting.
Yeah, I am very excited to see this. That's a very nice pick, taking down, the top fragger from the side of University of Windsor right off the hop. It is now going to be a 4 versus 2 as Misty and Cure are the only ones to make a play happen. The bomb has been planted from the Saints, so a defuse will have to come through as well. Misty being one of those first players to enter in onto the site here, and will actually run into Gorilla, not spotting it out on the play. Misty will fall. Cure has been spotted as well, and it is going to be Sauce hunting down. Sauce is going to need a pick here. He needs that confidence back into his system. But I honestly, as much as Sauce is 0-2 right now, having 2 engagements after what looks to be 6 rounds is crazy. Yeah. He's averaging 1 engagement every 3 rounds. He will get another one there. He will fall, unfortunately, but here, not able to find the round win here regardless. So it is going to be another St. Clair 1, 5-1, as they are on map point now.
Looks like he will keep himself alive here for the round. And I mean, for St. Clair, just really, really strong attacking rounds. They did falter on one, but in the end, I mean, 5-1 lead. A tall order here for you, Windsor, to try and come back in. And I don't know, St. Clair's Search and Destroy has looked so much better than their hard point here in the last couple of months.
Yes, for sure. I mean, and honestly, it just blows my mind. That's something I don't think I'd ever hear someone say. Saints was always made it a point that their hard point was very strong and significantly better than their Search and Destroy, but it's not the case anymore. We're seeing the Search and Destroy come through. The utility is going to be perfect here to stun Misty out, slow her down, or slow him down, I guess. Not sure if Misty is a guy or a girl there on that one. That could be either way, but it is going to be Conundrum getting looked to be only tagged from that utility or from the streaks there, so only able to keep his life there. Now going to turn this one into a 4-on-2. And now Brandon will be falling. Priestley going to get a trade out, 3v1. Let's see how this one plays out.
They still have to defuse this bomb. Misty trying to run away. 8 HP is going to survive for the moment. Going to spot out Priestley. Not going to get the pick, though. Has to hop out of the window. That's going to be it. Priestley finds Misty there, and that is going to be St. Clair taking the Search and Destroy 6-1. Very decisive fashion. I mean, not really a lot of comments. They played that perfectly. They played the proper trades, proper angles, and a couple of really good picks to start off the round for Priestley. Just gave them such a good momentum at the beginning, and they just never really got stopped throughout that series.
Yeah, there was one round found by the side of you of Windsor that I thought might have been able to turn things around a little bit here for them, but it just wasn't the case. So it is going to be a 2-0 lead here for the Saints. We are going to come back with 2 more hard points though in a row. So this is where if you have Windsor, their hard point game is strong and locked on, they can tie up the series, force that map 5, and then come into the next search and destroy with some confidence. A little bit of a hot streak on maps, whatever it may be. But it is now at the point where Windsor has to reverse sweep if they do want to come through here now with the series. When St. Clair just need to find either one of the 2 hard points or the search and destroy in map number 5. But Berlin hard point and Tuscan search and destroy both going in favor of St. Clair.
I think for Windsor, you'd like it to say, okay, we obviously our hard point was very, very close, struggled on the SND, but now it's 2 hard points in a row. If you can win those 2, you're going into the search and destroy with a lot of momentum, and St. Clair just needs to shut the door on this one. Take this hard point, take it decisively, and prove that you are a hard point team and that you can be strong on it, because, just hasn't really looked amazing for them so far. I think just really sloppy on that first one. Just a lot of missed rotations, a lot of trades that should have happened that just didn't end up coming through, and it is the beginning of the season. We got to remember that it is their first, well, technically their second game, but their first day playing CCL. So there are going to be a lot of bumps that need to be ironed out in the team, in the coordination, the communication. So I think looking forward in the season, it's going to look a lot better for them. And as long as you get all these little adjustments now, you can catch them now and try and improve them throughout the season. I think they'll be looking a lot better moving forward.
Yeah, you know what? I really do wish we could be able to hear some of these comms with these St. Clair Saints guys here right now, because you can only imagine right now that they are going to have to be working on those going forward, because that's all, like, Hardpoint is mainly comms. Like, it's talking to your team, figuring out who's going to do what and when, and, rotating, and just the chemistry is so big here for Hardpoint going into this one. So I'm very, very excited to see how things are played through. You see Dawson there, Coach Dawson, keeping all the players in check, and everybody getting mentally checked and ready to go into map 3. They know they do have a 2-0 series lead, but that means it's far from over here right now. It is going to be Hardpoint coming up next here in just a few minutes, as we have everybody getting ready to lobby up here and get this one started.
Should be interesting. It is going to be on Tuscan again, and they will be going on to a new 4th map if we do get there. But for now, we're going to concentrate on the 3rd one. And we just came off Tuscan for that search and destroy, and now we are going to be going at the Hardpoint. Different mode, same map. You are going to be playing it a bit differently, but I think for St. Clair, it is just time to close it out. I think they definitely have looked better frag-wise than Windsor has. I think they've just been the better aimers on the day, but Windsor came out with a really good game plan in the first hard point. Like, every single time that St. Clair clearly got that first point, and then it got traded out, Windsor found the second one, and then St. Clair grabbed the 3rd one, Windsor grabbed the 4th one, and it was just like back and forth the whole time. So here we are, game number 3, Series 2-0. Windsor looking for the reverse sweep. St. Clair trying to close us out and go 1-1 in CCL to start us off.
If U of Windsor doesn't let St. Clair go on one of those, 2-3 hardpoint runs where St. Clair builds a drastic lead for themselves, I think this is U of Windsor's game to take here. It all just comes down to, if it does go back and forth, will be a U of Windsor win. But if, St. Clair gets a point in time where they capture, 100 points in a row or something along those lines, then I do completely believe that this one could very well go in favor of St. Clair. But with that being said, it's going to be a great start here from the side of U of Windsor, actually, with a 15-0 lead, with already a half minute burned off the point, and the frags just all going in their favor.
A couple of picks came through there for St. Clair, but they just weren't able to capitalize. Misty and Kier going to find 2, but will be traded back here in a second. Kier going to find a second as well here, and looks like they can try and full hold this. Misty going to find Brandon as well, so they're going to get a lot of progress here on this first point, and that's a good start for them if they want to try and make a reverse sweep in this series.
Yeah, some good refrags, but not really doing a whole lot. Like, St. Clair is able to get a couple refrags down, but they're not really being able to, do work off these refrags. Priestley trying to get the turn and burn onto Misty, but Misty will be able to find the kill regardless. But Brandon going to come around, finds one. Can he find Cure? Doesn't look like there's going to be an engagement, but Brandon will find that one in the end of the day. St. Clair starting to get some points on the board here now, trying to even up the scoreline a little bit closer here to U of Windsor. However, U of Windsor still holding on, still getting lots and lots of frags, and keeping their advantage.
Yeah, not letting St. Clair actually take this point just yet. It's actually been sitting vacant for quite a while here. Windsor finally going to pop onto that point, but there was almost like 20 seconds there where nobody was on the point at all. It was just frags back and forth across the map, and I feel like it is what is going to happen a lot of the time early on in the season. I feel like it is kind of people feeling each other out, getting to know these maps better, getting to know the rotations better, and it is going to be scrappy on these first couple of hard points, but St. Clair finally gets some points back. But we're talking about Windsor has threat on this hard point. If they can take this, they can definitely steamroll, and St. Clair are going to have to be on their toes for this next hard point.
completely agree. I mean, there's a 60-point difference here now, and that's like bigger than what we saw in almost all of our map 1. You know, the biggest gap we saw was 95 points there, so to see a gap this big already is definitely got to be a concern here for St. Clair. They're trying to turn things around, but it doesn't look like the morale and honestly just the rotations on this map are looking solid by any means necessary. St. Clair kind of just almost looks lost, running in one by one, trying to huck util in to just see if you can find any, you know, random picks or anything, but overall not going too well. There's 3 down for them, so can they play off it? They need to get some time off of these picks, but it's going to be Conundrum just answering right back and finding 3.
Oh, Conundrum gets 3 there, and I mean, for St. Clair, you finally... Oh, no, Misty.
I would be so mad.
I'd
be so upset.
He got the pick. Oh, he found 2 more, actually,
enough.
So you know what? He may have killed his teammate, but they cleared the point off again, and almost 100 points here for you, Windsor. St. Clair at 6 right now. Just no progress being made on these points at all. And the rotation already coming through for you, Windsor. They know they've held it here. They are going to have one person, so St. Clair will get some scrap time here in the last one, but I mean, it's been all you Windsor to start us off, and I mean, the picks have come through for St. Clair, but they're just not capitalizing on them.
Yeah, not as much as they should be for sure. So now St. Clair will be able to get a few more points under their belt. But with that being said, Windsor's already ready to go on the rotations, fragging out over there. And, you know, you got to win those gunfights if you're Sauce there. It's been a little bit of a struggle here. For Sauce especially, I've noticed here throughout this today on Vanguard. So we're trying to see him potentially maybe turn things around. But that's 4 down for you of Windsor and a hard point locked up. And we're getting to this point where you of Windsor really starting to pull away to a point that St. Clair is going to be in such a deficit that it's going to be almost next to impossible to come back from.
100-point difference for you, Windsor. This is a team that wanted vengeance. I mean, that first hard point was so close. Search and destroy very, very heavily in St. Clair's favor, but we're seeing this one. There's just no answer here from St. Clair so far. Even the picks that they do get, they're just not converting it into hardpoint time. And it's such a good job for you, Windsor, able to, despite the fact that you are winning in frags, obviously, as we can see on the scoreboard, but even the times that you end up losing, your rotations are really good. So you end up keeping that hardpoint and able to move on to the next one. But St. Clair looks like they may be able to lock up the start of this one, at least get some points on the board.
So St. Clair is looking like they're doing a little bit better here now. They have gotten a few frags down. They've capped this hard point. They need like 2 full 60s though. That's the thing. Like they need to do so much now that there was such a slow start. And you know, Conundrum gonna then send in that util, force these players off the nade. Conundrum and Bobby Sox are gonna both come through here and you know, try to take this hard point, and they will do just that. Now it's gonna be ticking in the favor of you of Windsor once again. St. Clair forced on the outskirts and now having to retake. It is gonna be Brandon and Co making their way inside, but he's just gonna team kill Sauce down. And I mean, I've seen more team kills in
There's
Vanguard
been a lot
than,
of team kills
like,
this series. It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
That's 4 down though for the Saints, but actually no, there's another team kill in there. It's not even 4 down. There was another team kill just as we were saying it. So St. Clair will be able to get some more points on the board here now, 154 to 40. Still about a 100-point difference here between these two teams, but St. Clair definitely looking a little bit stronger here now than they were at the start of this game.
Finally finding some footing here, and we will be getting back to that first hard point yet again. And I mean, now that we've gone for a full 5, Windsor at 164, St. Clair at 43 points. This is not the scoreline I was expecting coming into this game number 3. And I mean, for Windsor, you don't really have to do too much here on these last couple of hard points. Just get some scrap time. If you can take even one of these hard points, it pretty much seals the deal for this map.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, St. Clair doing a really good job here on this hard point right now, finding their frags, locking this one down. That was a big pick from Conundrum to really try to open up the site. Gorilla will be able to trade things through, though, and Cure is going to be up above a few of these players. Gorilla is just causing mayhem down below. It will be finally cleaned up from Cure, but Sauce will be there for trade, so everything played out perfect from St. Clair. I mean, Gorilla was just being such a disturbance there towards their spawn, and now St. Clair has, you know, closed this deficit a little bit now, and it's only going to be 85 points separating these teams from what was 120, 130 seconds ago. This is very strong from St. Clair.
They finally got some momentum back in their favor. You can see the kills coming through here for a lot of members here for St. Clair, finally finding some picks. And I mean, for Windsor, they got to find their footing again here, try and get this hard point back. But St. Clair just rolling right now, finding every pick they need. Gorilla on a 4 streak right now, trying to find that objective. And I mean, 100 points breached here for St. Clair. They are coming back. They haven't allowed Windsor to touch that point in quite a while. But Windsor trying to get something started here. If they can find one of these hard points, it will be huge. But St. Clair, all you really need is 160 and you're back in this game.
Yeah, there's another couple picks through. Gorilla's going to come up top. He will spot a Cure. Cure has none of the intel there for that. That's 4 down, and that's a hard point back in favor of St. Clair. We got a game back on our hands here now, John. I'm going to say that, you know, Windsor still has a lead of about, you know, 60 points, you know, a little bit less than that. But from what was up, you know, like I was saying, 130 points ago, St. Clair has cut that lead in half and has now made this one so very, very winnable. It's 170 to 120, only 50 points between them now, and St. Clair's just fragging out now. Like St. Clair, they just flipped the switch.
I think their composure came through. They calmed down and said, okay, we just need to play our game. We need to find the picks we do, play out our game plan. And I mean, it all started really from that first rotation. It almost feels like when that point went back to number 1, it was like it was a new kind of St. Clair that we were seeing. And I mean, Windsor looks like they might get some time here on point finally. But I mean, throughout this first 3 points on the second rotation, it's just been all St. Clair here.
Yeah, Windsor just had some really big entry frags. It is going to be Sauce coming through, but he's not going to anticipate that player to be laying down. And there's so many players around here. Priestley has to go big. He finds the first 2. Misty's going to be here for the challenge. Pops up, but Misty will be rewarded with that kill. But that's Brandon. He has to find this one. He does. This is so big because it allows St. Clair to hop back on this point. There's still half a minute there, but Conundrum will be here. Brandon does all the work necessary. Brandon with a 4K quad feed for Brandon. Split quad. Conundrum will split that one up. Priestley will come through with the pick as well. St. Clair now edging back in a 45 points between these two teams.
A good comeback here for St. Clair, and that's exactly what we want to see them see. I think after that first rotation, they just seemed like a mess. They couldn't get the trades off. They couldn't get proper rotations in, and it just kind of continued through the first half of this game, but looking like a completely different team in the second half. And Windsor will have the setup here. St. Clair will be looking to try and break it. Oh, they found the one in back of spawn there.
Oh, that's
Brandon does go down.
Big piece of util for Sauce. He's going to find a, I think it was either an EMP kill or something there, but it is going to be St. Clair now, 35 points. I mean, every time I look at the score, it looks like St. Clair slowly inching back. There are a lot of frags going in favor of this side of U of Windsor here now, but St. Clair will be able to answer right back with a few of their own. So cleaning up all of these players. Bobby will be alive there, but weak, so able to get cleaned up, and St. Clair maintaining a position on this hard point from what was 45 a couple minutes ago is now down to 25-point difference. St. Clair has really proven to put themselves right back in this game.
I think Windsor needs to take a step back too and just say, okay, do the same thing that St. Clair did, is just realize, like, you're just kind of throwing yourself at point now. You need to just take a second, say, okay, like, we can't really get a ton of momentum on these points. Our breaks aren't very clean. The rotations afterwards aren't coming through. So she kind of a mental reset there, and they will get some scrap time on this last point. So they could take it here, but I mean, for St. Clair, technically they could also take it as well on this next hard point.
Well, it actually is going to be a phenomenal break and a team kill from Sauce. What are with these team kills,
I don't
man?
know. It's all the util. Look at all the util kills.
Util kills right there. 2 go in favor of the Saints. Actually, no, only 1, because 1 was a team kill. But yeah, it's going to be you Windsor really, like you were saying, need to come back with a little bit more composure. They're doing that right here, right now. This could be big if Brandon finds it, and he does. So he is going to have a lot more control now over this area. All 3 players are going to be spawning behind Gorilla. Gorilla going to have that intel now that there was a player coming from behind him there. Brandon is ready here to cut off them. Finds the first, comes through, finds the second with a pistol. Some big picks needed to be coming through, and they will. It is now going to be contested. Hardpoint Conundrum finds it, but the trades are there from Brandon. Now it is only about 20 points separating these teams. Sauce will get shot down, so very even on the picks side of things. Scrap time should go in favor of St. Clair, and we should have a tie game here going into the first hardpoint.
Key here is going to be the streaks. If Brandon can keep this up, he can definitely pick himself up something for these last hard points, but picks coming through for both sides. It will be reset. Now we are on the 3rd rotation here. Game within 15 points. Another close one. Conundrum going to find 2, but St. Clair going to answer back with 2 of their own. This could be close.
He only found 1 there, actually. Surprisingly, It was going to be a turn and burn from Priestley to be, shutting that second pick down. So St. Clair will manage to find themselves a little bit of spot on the point, but I think that streak's coming in from Brandon, so they will force some of the St. Clair players off the hard point. And now a contest coming through. Priestley's going to jump around, but he's not able. It's going to be ring around the Rosie with Misty, and Misty's teammate there to help. Misty will actually find 1 there as well, and U of Windsor might be able to clean it up right here, right now. That pick was so big. This is so big for Brandon. He needs 1 more. He finds it. He has the contest cure. Going to get the cleanup. Only 7 points are required for U of Windsor, but Priestley will find some util kills. Now 245 to 220. St. Clair's got 3 players stacked up on the hard point. Gorilla will find 2, and this is swinging back in favor of St. Clair. It's going to be 245 to 225 here right now. 3 seconds remaining. Rotations are through.
Windsor has the rotation here. This could be huge. If they can get this pick on Gucci King. Oh, Priestley finds Misty, though, and Conundrum goes down 2. If they can hold this point, they only need 33 points here to try and clean this one. But Cure finds 2 for himself. Bobby finds a 3rd. There's only 1 chance remaining here. It's going to be Sauce, but he's not going to be able to get it. 49 points. They claim it. U Windsor take the 3rd map on hardpoint, and they finally make a mark in this series, and it is a big one.
I mean, St. Clair come through with a little bit, hotter of a start. That's their map, but it is going to be U of Windsor able to maintain that lead they took on right from the start, and some really big play. Let's actually take a peek at the scoreboard here for a second. I wanted, the scoreboard looks very similar for all these players from U of Windsor, but I think the one player that really stands out to me is Conundrum here. Conundrum has been the player in the key plays. He's been the ones making the impact plays that have really turned things around for U of Windsor. It is now going to be them getting with one map on the board, and this is scary for St. Clair because you're going into another hard point here. Now you just lost a hard point. The other hard point you won, you only won by a few points. Now going into another one to potentially tie up the series 2-2. I mean, we could be seeing a map 5 here, but U of Windsor going to look very strong and very promising through in that map number 3.
Yeah, I definitely think they had it there, and I think it just all started that we saw they were down 100 points at one time in the beginning of this game. Like, it was very interesting to me how the rotations worked out, right? Because those first 5, they were just all U Windsor every single time. I think it was 120 to maybe 30 or 40 points, and the first one. The second one, it flipped where it was all St. Clair, and those 5 hard points, they picked up almost, I think, 80 or 90 points there. And then that third rotation, it was pretty even most of the time. But again, U Windsor just found enough scrap time where they were able to claim that one. And I mean, we have ourselves a series now. I think it's been really good. And for St. Clair, I mean, that first hard point, you only won by 4. The second one, you ended up losing. I mean, they did come back, but it was very, very much U Windsor for a lot of the beginning of that game.
What was the final score of that one? 250, 230?
I think it was 220.
Yeah, it was 250, 225.
Yeah,
it was within 30 points. So it was another close one that was coming through. So we're expecting another good one, I'm sure. I mean, the St. Clair guys definitely got to, calm things down here a little bit. Their, I wouldn't say their ego, but their confidence has definitely just gotten checked for sure.
Yeah,
so it is now going to have to regain going into this next one here. Going to be another hard point. So they do drop this one. They still have an opportunity to play Search and Destroy. I think the one thing that really does benefit St. Clair here now is how dominant they prove to be in Search and Destroy, and knowing that worst case, they will play the Search and Destroy, even if U of Windsor cleans up both these hard points.
Look at how stressed Dawson is right now. He's in it right now. He's thinking, well, how do we game plan this third map? Because, U Windsor definitely has looked a lot better in this series than we thought they were going to. And I mean, that first match could have gone either way. And I think, the fact that now there are 3 hard points makes it so much more interesting, because if you can't take these respawn maps, if you don't have hard winning respawn maps, it's going to be tough to win a series. And I mean, for me, Search and Destroy at map number 5 is still kind of a confidence booster for St. Clair, because you have that in the back of your mind. You won that first one very, very dominantly, but you want to end it right here.
Yeah, you definitely do want to end that one right here. So St. Clair on the right, U of Windsor on the left, and it is going to be out here in a new hardpoint map. Let's see who can get the early start. It is going to be Conundrum and Misty. Going to both be getting into some engagements here for the side of U of Windsor, and St. Clair now getting a few early picks, but U of Windsor will be the first ones to capture some hardpoint time. And that being said, it's just a very general, opening up to the map, trying to find some map control, trying to set up yourself for the second hardpoint and whatnot. But with that being said, a few picks now going in favor of U of Windsor, and the time ticking in their favor as well.
They found 4 here, so they will be able to start us off with control. And this is what we saw in the in the third map. And Bobby finds a 3-piece actually on the backside of that. Popping off here to start us off, and 6-0 now. Already has picked up that streak. That is absolutely massive. Conundrum going to find Sauce and find Gorilla. Brandon going to finally get the trade through. They will be able to clean that one up, but they are only going to get a little bit of scrap time here, and Windsor already set up for the next hard point.
It really concerns me for St. Clair too, because if they do drop this hardpoint, yes, they did look really strong in the Search and Destroy going into that round on the last one, but going into a Search and Destroy when you just dropped 2 hardpoints could be a lot more difficult, because your confidence is going to be getting checked there once again. But St. Clair will manage to come back here now with a little bit of hardpoint time for themselves. Some picks coming through as well, but another one of those slow starts from Gorilla. We need to see him, come through and play like he needs to right from the start, because it's allowing U of Windsor to find some opening score, find some opening picks, and just get that early map control, which is really hurting St. Clair in the long run. But it's St. Clair slowly inching back and now getting over 10 points on the board.
They will finally be able to get some points for themselves here, but Windsor going to clean them up. Looks like they will be able to hold this point here for the moment, and St. Clair going to have to try and break this again, but a couple more picks for Windsor, and they're able to hold on this for quite a while. They have one in the back, Brandon looking for some long-range engagements, but he will go down to cure there. So Windsor holding the second one, and we're seeing the same thing we did last map. This is dangerous.
Yeah, this is definitely dangerous indeed here. It seems as if, the Saints get a little bit antsy here off the start of it, but Gorilla will start to tune back up. He does find a couple picks. Sauce will find one as well into Bobby. Priestley, that's 4 down here now. The Saints should be able to get at least about 10-15 seconds or so, unless Conundrum has something to say about it. He will sneak on through, but the pick will be coming through from Sauce, and there's a couple more kills coming through for the side of St. Clair. Misty finally going to answer back, shutting down Brandon, but Priestley quick for the trades, and it's now going to be St. Clair pushing that 30-point marker, and now only a few more points separate these teams between each other.
Yeah, the one thing was Windsor did control a lot of the hard points there at the beginning, but there was a lot of downtime where it was either contested or Windsor wasn't on the point. So they did have advantages, but they weren't able to convert it into a ton of objective time. So Windsor does have pretty good control of this one, though. So they are able to open up that lead just a bit. And I want to see St. Clair try and punch back in, get a good break here. Gorilla going to find 2, Priestley going to find another. That's the break they needed.
That indoor hardpoint is all just hiding behind doors.
Basically.
Like, it's literally like, hide behind this door that is literally, a half an inch big and they can completely shoot through. But yeah, just hide there. Hope for the best. But yeah, it's going to be U of Windsor getting a little bit more of a grasp on the scoreline here once again, leading by about 53. But St. Clair will be ready to go and lock down on the next hard point. They're going to need to find, at least a good 30-40 points here to be able to keep themselves very involved in this game. It is going to be Misty coming through on the Knest. Bobby actually finding the first pick, Misty finding the second one. That's a textbook execution from U of Windsor. Brandon trying to get the retake here. Now he finds the first, finds the second. Brandon has been lights out all series long, and I think he's going to be my star player from the Saints so far. Look at him, just making this hard point look easy.
The only reason they were able to break back in was because he found those 2 picks in the back, and Windsor was forced to check on that flank. And I mean, they will be able to get this point back, but for me, I definitely think Brandon has been the star player so far in this series. We saw it even against Northwood. He was playing really well, but in this series specifically, he's had a really good game. Brandon finding 2 picks. Actually, one was on Priestley, but we'll find Misty as well. Kieran and Bobby going to find 2 trades coming out across the map, but Windsor will be the last one on this point.
That's 50 points between these two teams here now, and it's definitely possible. I mean, St. Clair was down by 130 going into the last game, so to see only about 50 points separating them here now makes this one definitely in mind that St. Clair can come back from whatever deficit needed. But right now, U of Windsor has just made Hardpoint look, substantially better from what I've seen from them in previous semesters and whatnot. So we do see some utility coming in here now, and it is going to be looking like that utility not going to be able to find a whole lot, but it's going to be U of Windsor getting more control of the map right here, right now, once again.
I do have to say 105 to 47 feels better than 118 to 18. But, I mean, regardless, still, it's another one of those slow starts for St. Clair. They just haven't been able to get a good footing on any of these rounds in Hardpoint. And, I mean, for me, I think, they've done a good job of keeping themselves somewhat in it, but they need to be able to get something good going on the second rotation of Hardpoints, because for me, it just hasn't looked good at the beginning of these ones for me at all.
Yeah, 70 points here between these two teams right now. And it is going to be the side of Gorilla getting a big pick there on a Conundrum. Can he find one more? Yes, he does. That's a big shutdown to Misty and really providing a little bit of an opening towards this next hard point. We do have Bobby, though, coming through and will take down Brandon, one of those players that's been making a little bit more impact towards the second half of this game. But Priestley going to come through and find 2 there. Can he find Conundrum as well? Some of the pistol shots brings out the rifle, gets some tags. Conundrum is now looking to retake this site, going to push in onto Gorilla. Gorilla going to get a little bit of odd timing there, not able to find the pick. Conundrum and Bobby Sox going to clean up a lot, and it is going to be ticking once again in the favor of U of Windsor.
Almost, we're at 80-point difference between these two teams here, and Windsor still holding his point. Cure finds 2 there. Gorilla will clean him up, but Gorilla going to find a second as well. Bobby going to trade him out, though, and Windsor still holding this point. They will almost get this up to a 100-point difference to start us off on this on the second rotation here on this map.
Yeah, this could be big for Brandon. He finds one, he finds a second, he finds a third. He will get shot down from Bobby, but no worries. I mean, Brandon's had some big impact kills here in this one, so still doing just what's needed here from him. It is going to be Gorilla coming through, getting 4 down here now for St. Clair. They need to get the next hard points locked down from this. So they do so, and they just need to actually hold a full 60 here now. Holding a full 60, put this, 147 to like a 120 score line, putting this one right back into something that's very, very workable. But just as like in the first 10 seconds, St. Clair kicked off that hard point.
Yeah, and it just seems like even with the picks they get, we saw Brandon get a 3K there at the end, but it was 15 seconds left on the hard point, so they got a couple of scrap seconds, but reality is they're not picking up the objective time despite finding the frags that they do. And I mean, Windsor has just done such a good job of, despite the fact that they're maybe not trading out 100% of the time, maybe they're not getting the picks they need, they're able to control the hard point for a really long time, and that's why they've been able to open up this objective lead and keep it this wide so far in this game. And I really just think St. Clair needs to find that third gear and try and get something going, because right now we're looking at map number 5.
Yes, indeed, we are. I mean, map number 5 would be stressful here for the Saints. It'd be
You're going to be standing up this map 5.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, that's just a given, John. But that's 165 to 169. So we're getting to that point where it's, triple digits separating these two teams. So things getting a little bit more concerning second by second. I mean, the kills are there. Like, you look at the kills in deaths from the Saints, and you'd expect, hey, this match should be closer than what the scoreline actually is. St. Clair, that's when you look at the feed and see that kills are pretty even, but the scoreline isn't. That's when you got to go back to the fundamentals, rotations, going into the next hard point, when to give up a hard point, when to play scraps. There's a lot of things to look at here now, and I think that's definitely something that Dawson's going to talk about with the guys over this next week or so.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you have 2 players that are positive right now. Priestley just did die, but he was positive, and Gorilla is 26 and 24, but there's a 100-point difference right now in the objective timer.
And Brandon's cleared sight several times that we haven't really seen much of an impact picked up on after he does clear that site. So yeah, there's lots of plays. It's almost just playing off your picks. They're getting the picks, but it's all about playing off of them. So we do see St. Clair, start to make a little bit of a comeback here now. But I mean, U of Windsor's already at the 180-point marker, which is what the one thing is that's really going to hurt the Saints, is the fact that U of Windsor's already built up such a scoreline that they only do need 70 points to close things through, and St. Clair going to need still 150.
Yeah, you can just have the ability to pick up scrap time on these points, try and get as many seconds as you can, try and squeeze out whatever objective time you can on these points and turn it into a win, because right now St. Clair down 100 points. They need to be able to full hold several of these in a row to be able to come back in this game, and right now they just don't have the momentum going. They do get some picks there. They will get 3, and they will be able to hold on to this objective for a little while. So if they can keep this going, try and find some footing, they need to turn it into multiple hard points, though, to be able to actually come back in this game.
And that is for sure. I mean, this is the footing that they were looking for. It's, can they, stay on this footing? Can they adapt from it? But it looks like U of Windsor knows what they have to do. They know they have such a lead already. They can just play off, little scrap time. They can play off rotations. But yes, this Gorilla Frank could have a big impact. If he can take down Cure, that's the big player holding these spawns way out on the back line. It looks like Gorilla will be able to find him. And, I mean, Misty is here and ready for it. So Gorilla's big thing is just keeping himself alive at this point, because that is really going to throw off where U of Windsor actually does spawn in and really provide an advantage to St. Clair. You see Gorilla staying alive back there. Priestley will get shot down, but as long as Gorilla can keep his life, he will finally go down here right now. But Brandon will be able to get the trade sauces there as well. And this should be a good hold here from St. Clair. If they can get these last 30 points or so, we will see a 200 to like 170, and that's a very big difference.
Yeah, and I really do like the play from Gorilla, but the problem is, you are down such a significant portion that they spent 10-15 seconds setting that one up. So that's 15 points for U Windsor that they can't really give up right now, because U Windsor is at 215. They're only a couple points away from this final. Kieran Conundrum finding 2 picks, that's huge. This next hard point could be the game. We could be seeing a map 5 here in the Battle of U Windsor.
Exactly. So it is going to be Conundrum finally giving up Old, who is set up on next. It does look like we did have Sauce there, but all the picks are going in favor of U of Windsor, so quickly lost that one, and the clock is ticking once again for U of Windsor here now, 230 to 139, and I mean, this one is close indeed. Gorilla's 35 and 31 right now. He is popping off on this one. You have Bobby, who's 37. Like, the kills are so high here right now. Everybody is fragging out. And I feel like Vanguard is just such like a more frag heavy than Cold War. The feed is way more active than Cold War. Like, this is such a much more fast-paced game, and you see a lot going on here. You see people getting more kills, more deaths, more triple feeds, whatever it may be. So it's a lot closer to run back to these hard points after you die and whatnot as well.
I'll tell you one thing. I've seen more streaks in this game than I think I saw in like the last half of the season in Cold War. So I think you're definitely right with that one. I think kills are a lot more active, but Windsor only 10 points away here from winning this one. They only need a little bit of scrap time on these next 2 objectives to take it. Brandon Priestley going to get a couple kills. They can try and hold on to this one, but it's going to be very, very close. Bobby taking out Kier, and again, these teammate kills are coming through like crazy. Their friendly fire is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just it's a lot more chaotic here
for sure.
now than Cold War. Right, Cold War, you can sit back, you can watch it. It looks a little bit more precise. But here now in this one, it's just flying around. But that's a huge 3 picks coming through from St. Clair, making this one possible. But the thing that U of Windsor has right now is they need 5 seconds on one hard point. Like, come on, man. Like, I mean, yeah, St. Clair, if they can pull off this comeback, it'll be massive for them and end it just right here, right now. Huge. But it is going to be U of Windsor taking the hard point, and they will clean it up. That is going to be about 250 to 175, I believe, 170. And we are going to see be a map 5 coming in for the Battle of Windsor.
I'll tell you one thing, we both didn't predict this.
No, we both did not predict this one. We were both way off. I like this new U of Windsor roster. They're looking clean, and I'm happy to see some more talent in Windsor in general. See 4,200 damage coming there through from Gorilla, and then 4,200 from Bobby as well. That's 42 kills from Bobby. He dropped the 40. Oh, me.
That's crazy.
Oh, my. Map 5 coming underway. Search and Destroy going to be coming right up here right now. So St. Clair, they did take the last one predominantly. Can they do it again?
I mean, for me, we're looking at Berlin. We're going back to that first map, and that was the one that St. Clair won originally. It was Hardpoint. Obviously, very different from Search and Destroy, but you have the map you won, and you have the mode you won on. So, I mean, you get the best of both worlds in a way. But, I mean, Windsor coming off this momentum, getting those 2 maps on Hardpoint is so huge for them. And, I mean, Search and Destroy, completely different mode. You're going to have to, again, you have this super frag heavy, and we were talking about Vanguard, a super frag heavy mode. You're going to Search and Destroy a lot slower, a lot more strategic in a way. And I think for me, I really want to see St. Clair lock this one down and just make the series decisive. But I love seeing this. I love the Battle of Windsor. I love the fact that this team has become so good, so competitive. And all credit goes to Dylan, the coach of U Windsor, definitely pulling the guys together for this one and looking really, really good in the series, looking very competitive. And for St. Clair, you don't want to end up going 0-2 in your week 1. That would be a really, really bad start to the season. And you really want to try and get to that 1-1 scoreline and make yourself feel a little bit better going into this week 2, because for me, you just want to start on a good note.
Dylan and Dawson have both done a great job with both of their rosters.
Yeah,
really
100%. The coaching in these 2 teams is incredible.
Yeah, exactly. And, just want to point out that I did beat Dylan in gunfight, though. So, I mean, hey, there is that there. So, keep that in mind.
I like the shade throw.
Yeah, it is 2-2 here right now. Dylan and Dawson, yeah, they've both done phenomenal jobs. You 100%. See the development come through these rosters. The amount of time they put in on the back line. I'm so happy here for both of them to have the opportunities. And it is so sad, if we do have to say goodbye to Dawson after the semester, it's gonna be a very, very sad day. Sure. Coming in here, building Saints Call of Duty to what it is here right now. But we're not gonna bring out the tears here in week number 1. We got a whole season. Exactly. So U of Windsor and St. Clair gonna be 2-2. I mean, this is far from what I was expecting. Going into our first cast back. Like, I have not casted from St. Clair in over a month, and to come back here now and to cast something like this, I am just thrilled.
And I mean, the thing for me that's really shocking is the fact that U Windsor is taking the respawn modes. That's what St. Clair was known for.
I'm shocked
by
that.
I mean, the 3rd and 4th map, it wasn't just like they're really close the entire time, and U Windsor is just kind of balling out at the end, and they're finding the frags and able to take it. Like, map 3 and 4 was 100. There was multiple times there was 100-point differences. And, I mean, it all started with the beginning of these maps. It's clear that U Windsor is coming with a strategy, and I feel like St. Clair has an idea of what they want to do, but again, they're relying too much on how much they can frag and not enough on how much they want to play around rotations and spawns. And it's really shooting themselves in the foot because you're opening up this gap at the beginning of the game that you can't really recover from at the end.
I mean, yep, but if you're playing out to frag out, Search and Destroy is the mode for you. This is going to be map number 5 about to come underway. So this is where St. Clair does have that ability to just use their raw gun skill, their pure gun skill, and just brains to, go through and find these round wins here. So it's going to be U of Windsor. But the thing with U of Windsor here now is that going into that first one, they were just coming off a 4-point loss on Hardpoint. Morale was low. It took a little bit to regain back into the swing of things here now. But now going into this map 5, U of Windsor's hot and ready. They've come through with 2 dominant Hardpoint wins. They're ready to go. St. Clair, morale low. It's complete opposites. So I'm expecting to see a little bit more from U of Windsor here. My prediction, 6-4 Saints.
Oh, I like it. I don't want to predict anything, but I think it is going to be a 6-5 either way, but I'm not going to predict what team it's going to be.
John, you just don't want to predict so you're not wrong.
I mean, it's true, but I'm going to do it anyway because I think it's going to be 6-5, but I want to see Priestley do well in this Search and Destroy because the first Search and Destroy, Priestley got 2 frags in both of those opening 2 rounds. They were able to turn that into, they did end up losing one after that, but after that it was just 4 rounds in a row for St. Clair. Pretty clean in a lot of those rounds too. It just seemed like they were like 3-0s, 4-0s. and there wasn't really a lot going on for you, Windsor. So I think for St. Clair, try and get back to Priestley, try and lean on him, finding those opening frags, able to turn that into trades afterwards, and then you're going to end up winning the round. So I think for you, Windsor, you are going to have to watch out for Priestley. He is the one to watch here in the Search and Destroy. And I mean, it's been a really, really good series so far. I can't wait to see what these guys have in Game 5.
Yeah, key player matchup, Priestley and Conundrum for me here in this one.
I don't Brandon and Conundrum for me.
Brandon and Conundrum, yeah. Priestley gonna be a player to watch then for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So yeah, but Brandon gonna come through. I mean, the thing with Brandon I do find quite often is it's either like he has spurts of momentum, right? Where it's like you might have like 2 rounds where he doesn't really do too much of an impact, but then the next round he's like cleans up ace, like, and just like takes them all down, and it's just crazy. So expecting to see maybe hopefully a little bit more consistency out of him potentially. But moving on to a new map here, I have seen a few of the guys actually play this in the I think it was the Windsor Charity Hospital 2v2 tournament. But Priestley with the opening pick and a plant from Sauce gonna really help out Saints here in this one.
It's a good start, and that's exactly what I want to see from St. Clair. That was what they needed in those first 2 Search and Destroy rounds, and going into this 5th and final one, Windsor has all the momentum right now. St. Clair needs to find a couple rounds to stop it, to try and slow it down, and 27 seconds left. Oh, he got that pick. Brandon and Priestley finding picks for themselves here. Just 1 remaining for Windsor here. Kier trying to clean up on the backside, but he will be taken down, gets fragged, but will go down, and St. Clair taking the first round. That is absolutely massive.
The 3 picks, the 3 final picks were all just like straight headshots too. Like, I mean, like just like headshot there, and then the last 2 picks were headshots as well. That was a very, very clean stuff. And player to watch, Priestley, he did just that. Like, I mean, you were talking about the opening picks, and that is what he's so good for. The thing that I don't like a little bit about the opening picks, I mean, he's so good with them. But if he dies in that situation, St. Clair loses that round. Like,
and I think like, realistically, because it is a new map, because it is a new game, I think a lot of the time he's able to find those angles that players might not be expecting, and I think that will be a strength for him for a while until these players are very used to these maps, very used to how you play these rotations, how spawns are. Then you might not be as impactful, but for right now, I think it's going to be huge. Bobby going to find the first pick on Gorilla, though. That is good, and it looks like they want to try and plan today, but Sauce holding a good angle here. Conundrum going to find him, though.
Yeah, it's going to be Bobby and Conundrum. 2 of those very key players going to find some early picks. Brandon will take down Kier. Conundrum does get tagged up in that building, but this bomb is ultimately going to be getting planted out on A here. That nade not going to really work out too nicely there from Priestley, so they're still trying to find some sort of opening through the site, but Brandon finds 1. Can he find another? Brandon going to find 2. The Conundrum is tagged to 1 HP. He's all that's left for you of Windsor here right now, and he is stuck down here in this corner, but Priestley did not find him in the spot. Priestley thought he cleared this, but he actually did not. So now in this 2v1, it is going to be Brandon on the defuse, but the check is coming in from Conundrum. Will take down 1, but Priestley will get that trade out. Lots of time to work with. St. Clair picking up round number 2. And that one looked a little stressful for a second there. First blood going in favor of you of Windsor, but Priestley and Brandon doing a great job of cleaning that one through.
Yeah, unfortunately, he just didn't go for the right target right there. You want to go for the person shooting at you to get time for you to swing over to the one defusing the bomb, but did end up choosing the wrong player there. Conundrum tried to go for the swing, wasn't able to get it through. Priestley finding it 3-0 now. But, I mean, that was looking very, very bad for St. Clair. 2 opening picks went to you, Windsor. They got that bomb plant down, but somehow, again, Brandon just pulls it out 4-1 here. Priestley at 3-0. Both these players fragging out. And, this is the game of the series. This is your match number 5. And you don't want to go down 0-2 in the CCL to start us off. And, I mean, for you, Windsor, try and find some momentum back here. I think that was a really good round. Obviously, a few mistakes made, but definitely a chance here in the second Search and Destroy.
Yeah, you do not want to go down 2-0 by any means. Gorilla will find the first pick and a bomb plant because Conundrum's not able to make his way up there. Priestley actually going to turn and burn, get some shots down onto Misty. Kier is going to be one of those ones to only be the player to fall still. Conundrum's up and close, ready on site here. Brandon is going to be up here on a nice little angle too, an off angle. But that's going to be 2 trades quickly to Bobby and Conundrum. Now a 2v2, Gorilla and Brandon. All that's left, and Brandon gets turned and burned. That's Bobby taking him down. Now it's all a 1v2 to Gorilla. This bomb is planted, but Gorilla is very, very far away, playing a deep angle. I do not really like this play too much.
Looks like they are going to swing here. Oh,
God timing, man.
I missed out on the ADS there. They are searching for him. Conundrum going to find him, but Gorilla going to get the shots through.
He's going to try
to
be
a 1v1. Diffuse going to come through here. Does he have the angle through the wall? He does! He finds him through the door, and St. Clair going to claim a 3rd round for themselves, go up 3-0, but that got me nervous. And again, it's these really, really close rounds. St. Clair ends up clutching up and able to take that one. A good try by Bobby, but Gorilla just better.
So that was my mistake there. That was actually, I do support Gorilla's positioning a little bit more here now there. I didn't know he did have that lineup ready to go. I knew he had some sort of a lineup, like a general one, but I still thought that U of Windsor would have been able to, get a good angle to get a fuse off, but apparently not. No, Gorilla, they've been playing this more than me, and that's why they're playing, and we are not. But it is going to be the Saints now leading 3-0, and this 3-0 lead, if it turns 4-0, it's over. In my opinion.
I think so, too.
It's must-win round here for U of Windsor. You do see Bobby coming through with a quick plan on B. This is what St. Clair's been doing, and they've been proving it to be useful. So this is pretty good news here for the side of U of Windsor, especially getting that bomb down without losing a player.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that every single one of these plants has come through just as soon as the round starts, sprint to the site, bomb plant down, and then you play it out from there. And it makes for a very, very quick round. Sauce going to find Misty. It is going to be 3v3, but only 30 seconds remaining. How will St. Clair play this out?
Yeah, I like Gorilla. He's already made his way down there onto, kind of the dock side. And he has made his way around Bobby. He might get shot out in the back here for a second. Here we'll find the first one. Bobby coming from behind. Gorilla so close to finding that frag. It's going to be Brandon able to trade it out. Conundrum is the only player left. Conundrum is coming over here. Sauce will spot it out. Sauce is going to slow this one down. Sauce will get it. The defuse is going to come through, and Brandon finds it. That's a 4-0 lead for the Saints. Something that was looking so doable for Conundrum to 1v2 there because he had the time. He had the bomb down. That was in his favor, but St. Clair executing perfectly. Sauce going over there to help out his teammate, making sure that Brandon stays alive during this defuse. If Sauce dies here, that is the round and goes in favor of U of Windsor, but luckily for Sauce, he does find the kill, and now making it 4-0 for the Saints, only needing 2 more. U of Windsor yet to find the board yet, and I think that's just going to put the Saints at such a favor.
Yeah, I think the scoreline here is 4-0, but I definitely think it's been a lot closer than that. There's been multiple times where U Windsor, at the 1v2, 2v1, definitely winnable here. And, I mean, Misty and Kira just struggling a little bit here, but I mean, across the board here, I thought Priestley and Brandon were popping off, and Sauce and Gorilla were struggling. But now both players positive, and all the players for St. Clair are actually positive now here in the KD. So looking pretty good here on Search and Destroy. University of Windsor has to find some kind of momentum to come back in here. A nice angle by Misty, but not going to be able to find the kill.
And that is so big for St. Clair to get away with both those players keeping their lives. This bomb is down 2, and 5 seconds has already been burned off the clock for it. Bobby will take down Brandon, being one of those players that is a little bit more highlighted here. But Gorilla quickly trading out Bobby there to turn this to a 3-on-3. And now time is still ticking. There's only 23 seconds left. 7.5 has to be spent on defusing, and St. Clair still got this in a 2-on-3. I mean, Gorilla, yes, he will fall, but Sauce is here and ready to potentially find an angle. But no, it is going to be that player picked off as well. Conundrum has spotted out Priestley being the last player alive. That's the cleanup, and U of Windsor getting on the board, changing everything here now. Just only 3 rounds to separate these two teams.
That is a big momentum swing back in U Windsor's favor. I think obviously 4-1 still a pretty heavily St. Clair College favored scoreline, but there is a chance for U Windsor to come back in this game. And I mean, we saw what they did with the momentum they got on that third map. They turned it into a 4th one. So St. Clair needs to find this next round, trying to find a solid defense here. And I mean, for me, I definitely think St. Clair's just been dominant here so far in the Search. I think obviously every player is positive right now. They really just need to find one of these rounds and pretty much in the book.
Yeah, so with that being said, it's back to a 4-on-4. St. Clair on the defense. U of Windsor looking to potentially get an aggressive bomb plant towards A, but we do have 2 players from St. Clair ready to play defense here. I mean, this is going to get interesting for sure. I mean, Conundrum, if he opens this up, he will get tagged down a little bit by Sauce there. Sauce going to sneak away. Will hop back over counter. But, I mean, these plays are so interesting. That is going to be Sauce getting some tags. Cure could get killed out here. And that is going to be Brandon finding a big, big one there. Now a 4-on-3. And, dropping Cure already is definitely the start you're looking for. But Sauce going to have a lot of pressure on him. Conundrum coming from behind will actually get some tags on a Priestley there. Sauce has got a lot of players to worry about over towards this side. Gorilla taking down as well. And now a 2-on-4. Or 2-on-3, sorry.
And both these players are playing so close in this A side. If they decide to rotate to B, it is a free plant, but they are sticking their ground. They want to push this one in. They have players collapsing, but they have to get through this door. Will they call for the rotation here? Not just yet.
I don't think they are. I think they're too deadied to A already, so they're going to just kind of play off it. The setup is a little bit here for St. Clair. Sauce finds the first, traded through. Brandon needs one right here, right now. And he finds that. Oh my god. He gets a tag on it, Bobby. He almost had the cleanup there, but Bobby will be able to find that one through. U of Windsor have attacked on a second round, and John, we got ourselves a little bit of a game here. Once again, St. Clair obviously with an advantage in this one with 2 rounds above their opponents, but U of Windsor has clawed back here and made this one extremely more doable for them.
And now both sides have 1 on attack and defense, so I think Pretty confident in both sides here. Obviously, Bobby and Conundrum popping off for you. Windsor, two players that have been looking so good throughout this entire series for them. And St. Clair stumbling a little bit there. I think they played out the round as best they possibly could. But in a 3v2 scenario, just hard to get those trade kills coming through. And 4-2 now, this is definitely anyone's game 5.
Exactly. A lot of pressure over towards A here. Once again, 3 players from the Saints, 2 players from U of Windsor. We actually have almost a 3-on-3 there now at this point. Conundrum playing the outside skirts area. We have Sauce and Priestley both coming through long haul there. And now, still a 4-on-4. I mean, this is one of those rounds where it's a little bit slower. We haven't seen an immediate pick or an immediate plant. Both teams have really started to slow things down as we do inch closer and closer towards the end of this series. St. Clair, you can definitely tell they're getting a little bit more worried as their aggression has slowed down on the attacking side. I mean, U of Windsor have tacked on a couple rounds here now for themselves, but I think St. Clair's aggression is what's been benefiting them. You see Gorilla, he starts to get a little choppy when he has to hang around for too long. Bobby and Misty both finding early picks. I mean, Priestley, yes, he does answer back with 1, but you need another pick still, and that's not going to do it. That's going to be a round, honestly, for U of Windsor. I don't think Priestley can do this 1-on-3 here right now.
You don't believe in Priestley?
I just Vanguard's one of those games where 1-on-3s are so much more difficult than some other Call of Duties. Like, the time to death and this one's just quicker. Yeah, I think we've kind of both picked up on that a little bit. Where you know, Cold War takes about 5-6 bullets. Maybe this one that's like 3-4, 3-4 compared to the 5-6. So it's a big difference, especially when it comes to winning these 1v1s to 1v3s or whatever. Trying to jiggle peek something, you might lose your life.
Windsor with 3 rounds in a row here. St. Clair needs to find some kind of momentum comeback, or else you Windsor definitely going to be in the driver's seat for the rest of this series. And I mean, for me, this has been the best Call of Duty series I've casted in this year. Also the only one, but but for me, I think this has been such a good start. Priestley gonna find the first pick. That's huge. That's what you need.
A Priestley pick to start off the round is exactly what they were missing in the past few that U of Windsor did clean up. So it is nice to see that come through from the Saints here once again, providing U of Windsor a little bit less strong of an attack because they're on the attacking side too. So losing an attacker makes it even more difficult. You have less angles that you can clear. Misty falling as well. Priestley just going to town here in round number 8. And it's looking like St. Clair wanting to put themselves onto match point and series point here. So let's see what happens. It is still going to be Conundrum and Bobby. Conundrum will find the first onto Brandon. All it takes is one more pick to even this up to a 2-on-2 here. Now Priestley will spot out Conundrum, getting a little bit of intel. And they kind of get the intel. This is probably going over to B. Both players stacked up together for the side of U of Windsor, trying to play this one out as a team.
I think that just both teams really don't like post plant on B site. We've seen both teams have opportunities to plant on B and they haven't taken it. So Sauce in a good position here to try and catch up Bobby. He hears him opening the door. He knows there's a player on A site, but isn't going to play off of it just yet. Plant going to come down, but they are going to challenge him on this plant. Will they catch the planter? Sauce going to find Bobby. Conundrum going to trade back here, trying to get out.
He's tagged.
Gets tagged, but not down enough, and that's going to be the kill coming through. St. Clair going to claim a 5th round and will go to match point, but it's been such an insane series.
This is a great one. I mean, U of Windsor, we saw them find 3 in a row already. They do it again, they win the series, right? I mean, St. Clair only going to need 1, yes. I think a lot of this, I want to hop on Priestley's point of view here for the start of this round if we can, because I think this is going to be a very, very big one. If he can find something opening here, he's going to be the player to do it. If St. Clair does get the first blood, it's going to be Priestley in my eyes here. So we'll see what he can do. I want to kind of also see what Priestley's been doing on these maps to, get so aggressive early. You see him with the pistol out.
They're going
He's
B.
instant sliding. Look how fast he's over to this B site. I mean, instantly hops up. He holds his angle right away, and he's ready to find these peaks. And now that is what makes Priestley find these opening picks. If you're looking at Misty here or something like that, who's looking at these angles that Priestley's just hopping out on? Brandon going to find it up with another pick. This is a 4-on-2, and that is one of their top fraggers already down, being Bobby. All this is going to be up to Conundrum and Cure, and I mean, in a 2-on-4, it's going to be very difficult, especially when St. Clair can just get this bomb down at any moment.
If Cure can find a pick here onto Brandon, that would be huge. Conundrum in the back. See if you can find anything going. Brandon going to find him, though. A 1v4 scenario here. Can Cure clutch it out, or will St. Clair claim Game 5 in the series? Will be chipped down. Not going to go down quite yet, but I think that is going to be it. A 1v4 scenario for Cure, just not going to be able to happen here. 15 seconds left on this bomb. Will not be able to be defused.
He's not even able to defuse that time. That's game.
And that's game. So, I mean, we'll wait for this bomb to defuse before we actually say it's completed. But for me, I think a really, really good series. Very, very back and forth. St. Clair is going to win out here. Yeah, Cure going to go down 4-0 to clean this up. 6-4, or 6-3?
6-3.
6-3.
But a series that
incredible series, incredible.
I wasn't expecting. I going into the saying 3-0 Saints, you're going into a saying 3-1 U of Windsor, and they prove us both wrong. 3-2 Saints. So the Saints do still clean up the game. But U of Windsor proving that, hey, we have a new roster. We're coming through here now. And I think that U of Windsor, it's got to be a kick in the butt knowing the map number 1, the one that you lost by 4 points, is what lost you that series there. So St. Clair, the SND is there, but this week that their scrims are going to be strictly hardpoint.
Yeah, I think
it is going to be hardpoint in and out, in and out.
Yeah, I think the fact that U Windsor can say, the number 15 power ranked team, we lost by 4 points too.
Yeah, you literally lost a series by 4 points.
It's such an insane stat, and the fact that this is our first game that we've casted for the entire year is one of the best games that we've seen in the last year in all of Call of Duty. So I really, really love the fact that this was our first series, the Battle of Windsor, and we hype it up so much. And I think last time we were a little bit disappointed; it was very, very St. Clair sided. But this time, I don't think you can get a better series of Call of Duty than that.
Any St. Clair Windsor COD matchup, I'm hyping up so much.
100%.
100%. This one definitely proved to be worth it here. I mean, it was an absolutely phenomenal series. The boys over at St. Clair are going to come and prove their dominance here over against U of Windsor and winning it once again here. But U of Windsor, you can definitely see the improvement. I'm very happy to see that. I'm very happy to see just the improvement in the Windsor local area as a whole. So GG's to both teams coming around. Huge shout outs to all those players at U of Windsor for the respectful, clean game and really showing that their new roster is really a roster to be beating. And it's going to be St. Clair coming through with that 3-2 win. A little bit closer for comfort, but regardless, going to be able to come home tonight going 1-1 on the day, losing to the number 2 ranked team, but then being able to clean up the Battle of Windsor. So overall, we'll take that as a dub for the day.
Yeah, for sure. And coming out with 1-1 a lot better than 0-2, but a lot of things to work on. And I mean, for me, look at the start of last semester, it was just every single game was just win. And it was like 3-0s. You're beating by 100 points, but this time, you ended up losing to Northwood. You barely won against Windsor. It was a very close series. So a lot of stuff you can clean up, but I mean, still, the fact that you ended up winning this series, very, very good feeling. And for Windsor, pretty good feeling as well. Obviously, you ended up losing, but it was a tight series. You gave it your all, and we could tell. And I think definitely both of these rosters had their star players.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that, they did have their star players, but you're also going to definitely tell that 3 hard points is going to be a problem for the Saints this semester.
Definitely.
It's going to be a problem for a lot of schools, I believe, personally, here going into this one. So everything's different going into this semester. Everything's changing, so bear with us. Let's see how the rosters can do. It's going to take a lot of adapting, but we are ready to put in the hours for it. But with that being said, are you guys ready to put in the hours to Crunchyroll? I mean, come on, you guys got to get the grinds. There's lots of new animes out on Crunchyroll, guys. Get a 14-day premium trial for free at crunchyroll.com/Saints. Essentially the Netflix of anime. It's been so long since I've been able to say that. And
did you miss it a little bit?
I do miss it a little bit, Just wait till we see the Dark Mode merch. But it is going to be a new sponsor, Crunchyroll. Who doesn't love free stuff? I mean, you guys can get a 14-day premium trial for free, crunchyroll.com/Saints if you're interested. But then moving on with that, if you want to take a little bit of our merch, you got the mask, I got the jacket. Look at it, we're like a one-piece suit once again.
So we're all comboed together here. You can get yourself a t-shirt, you can get yourself a jersey, a jacket, whatever you're looking for. Get yourself a nice comfy sweater for this winter weather. Acquire.ca/Saints. Get yourself some Dark Mode merch. I love the colors, and I mean, it's a new year. It's time for a new you, and I got some merch coming in hopefully sometime soon, and I'm sure you'll be ordering it right now, and you can get some in sometime soon as well. Acquire.ca/Saints. But that's going to be it for our Battle of Windsor stream, and it was a banger of a series. I can't wait to see when these teams play again because, for St. Clair, a really, really big challenge, and U Windsor a huge step up from last semester.
For sure. And, like you were saying, get yourself some of those Saints sweaters. It's cold outside.
It's
it's cold when you walk outside and you see people playing pond hockey on the Saints.
I love that. I love seeing that.
I know. It's awesome to see, but it's cold when.
Oh, yeah.
So,
big time.
Yeah, it is going to be a great matchup overall. So that is going to wrap us up here for the evening. My name was Jackson Pride Brown, joined alongside John Billbangs. We do have a huge shout out to Donka and Dan for helping us on the back line today. And that is going to be the first stream back here for 2022. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll catch you guys all on the next one.